Yes, yes. What? The hooker's not supposed to be there at 8, not 7. Hey! Hello. Yeah. That. Never mind that. Oh, it's time for another epic moment with the comic books. I seem to lost track of that again. We should be doing the comics that got me back into reading after this putrid piece of made me stop. And that is X-Men Second Coming. Now, now I haven't been reading for a while, and I was just kind of curious and looking things online, and I saw this and it looked really interesting. So I thought, you know what? I know I haven't read anything in a while. Let me check it out. And when I checked it out, oh boy, oh man, was I blown away by it? Oh my god! I mean these two. I mean, and this event is like about 13 issues. And I'm only gonna cover these two, and I don't feel I'm gonna be doing it justice because I got all of them, and I'm telling you that is one hell of an event. Oh man, why is it epic? Well, one, the writing is just freaking fantastic. I mean, oh my god, it's just so good. The battles are just so good as well. The battle scenes are just fantastic. The story itself, it feels like they laid out a plan and they followed through with it. God, this is really cohesive. A great piece of storytelling. It's the culmination of like all the stories in the past of all like the Messiah complex, the Messiah War. It's the culmination of all that together. It's the kind of the culmination of building up of Hope Summers finally coming into her own. So that's one of these storytelling, the battles, the culmination of everything. 3, it sets up a lot of things afterwards, like a lot of things. A lot of the foreshadowing that it sets up is just fantastic. And 2, it's just such a great emotion. I mean, it really drags you in. The story is just so fantastic. So for some backstory, let's see. M-Day happened. I never read House of M, but apparently, the Scarlet Witch went insane and said no more mutants, and thousands of mutants went, like thousands, maybe millions of mutants went from that to like 100 to 200 only left on the Earth, and a bunch of them ended up dying. And this woman, this baby by the name of Hope Summers was born. She was the first one after M-Day, and people felt that she would kind of Christian in the new mutant, that because of her she would have the power to bring them back. And long story short, Cable takes the baby and time jumps into the future with her. And this story picks up where she grows up and she grows up in the future, and she finally decides and tells Cable that I'm ready to come back, and that's where this picks up. Now I'm only covering 2 issues, only 2, but this is a really good one. So it's the story itself is 3 acts. The first act is getting Cable and Hope trying to get to Utopia where the X-Men in space are. That's the first act. Second act is when you get there, like the intermission pretty much, leading up to what are they going to do, what's the plan, what's going to happen. And the third act is the final all-out battle. And that's where we come in. So in this issue right here, I mean, the Utopia is being laid under siege by a bunch of Nimrod Sentinels. And if you know the Nimrod Sentinels, those are one of the most powerful Sentinels that you can have. They adjust to your powers like that. And they're being laid under siege. The entire Utopia is being laid under siege by these Nimrods. And pretty much the mutant race is fighting for their survival. And there's no one else that's going to help them. The Avengers, anything, they're blocked out completely. So it's up to the mutants to survive. Get the hell in. Hell yeah. And it's not just that the Nimrods, they're coming from the future. They're being made in the future and going through a portal to the past to wipe out the X-Men in Utopia. Hell yes, get in. I mean, they're fighting for the survival of Tooth and Claw. It's just so amazing. And well, what ends up happening is Cyclops comes up with this brilliant idea that Cable has one more jump left that he can make in time. And he has a brilliant idea that, in order to stop these Nimrods, because they're not going to make it if they keep fighting Nimrods, they've already suffered a ton of casualties. I mean, I don't know if this is definitely not the issue, but they're getting laid under siege pretty heavily. Hellion even lost his hand in one of the issues. He got incinerated. So they're losing the battle. There's no way they can win this if they keep going. And Cable and Cyclops decide that he decides to send X-Force with Cable and Cypher to go into the future to stop the Nimrod from being made, to shut it down. And the reason, and it's so brilliant because you have two stories, one that takes place in the future, and the days of future past future, I do add. Here's Master Mode. He's making all the Nimrods, and you just get some amazing battles in the future. I mean, look at Wolverine. They're fighting this huge Sentinel, just trying to buy some time and trying to claw their way into Master Mode. And it's so brilliant that he would send them into the future. And the reason it's so brilliant is the fact that Cypher can talk to computers. That's his mutant power. And what he does is, oh, it's so amazing. Here he is, Cypher. That's him talking to the computer. And he shuts it down from the inside, from the future. He shuts down Master Mode, talks to the computer, shuts down all the Nimrods. And in essence, from the future, he saves the past because the Nimrods that are attacking him finally just crumble. And then you just watch the scene. Just look at this splash page. This is what's happening in Utopia right now. Hope is joining into the battle, fighting. I mean, Storm, everything. And Magneto, God bless Magneto in this. And Magneto is laid up in a bed. He was laid up in a bed because he had just brought Kitty Pryde back from that bullet that she was in, that she was facing, and then it wiped him out. So he's lying in bed, but he manages to get up in the previous issue because the Nimrods are making their way to the infirmary, making their way to the mutants that are in the hospital, and they're coming for them. And Beast is getting ready to go out there and risk his life, saying, "Okay, folks, it was nice knowing you." In the last issue, but and then Magneto rises up from his bed, and he tells Beast, "Get back over there, attend to the patients, I'll deal with these Nimrods." And he's not even at full strength, and just look at this. This is the first thing you get. Look at that. He's battling Nimrods like crazy. I mean, he's on his last legs here. This is like the X-Men's last stand. This is what X3 should have been. I mean, oh my gosh. I mean, just look at that. You got them battling in the future, the battling in the past. And Magneto is like falling down. He is like dying. He is getting his ass handed to him. I mean, look, this is Magneto. He's fighting. He's getting his butt handed to him. And what ends up happening? He's like, there's only one thing you forgot. He's about to die. And he's like, there's one thing you forgot. This place is made primarily of iron. And he rips the iron from the center of Utopia and impels a shitload of Nimrod. Sorry for the profanity, but I love this issue. And oh my god, reading this, and think about it, just reading this after reading the crap that was this putrid thing, and reading this, and coming back to comics, this is the perfect way to come back to it. I was like, oh, so blown away by this. And in the end, they shut everything down, and they're going to go to this portal, right? But here's the thing, the portal can only let inorganic matter through, and so X-Force is going to be stuck there. Cable has one time jump left, and he used it. And it was just such a great scene at the end where he has one time left. There's no way they can come back. They do it anyway. And just the goodbye that he says to Hope, his adopted daughter, was just so emotional. I mean, it's just so... I mean, it's like... I mean, this comic, this entire story really gets me emotional. Because that's the way it really tugs you in. And you really feel and emphasize for these characters. But that goodbye scene was just so emotional. Because you never knew they were going to see each other back again. And so, in order to get back to the past, because it only lies on inorganic matter, X-23 tried, unfortunately, and this is what happened to X-23. Not very good. She got burned. So, Cable decides to let his techno-organic virus overcome him, because by doing that, he's kind of inorganic matter and organic matter at the same time, and he holds open the portal and stands right in front and allows the other X-Men to come through from the future, saving their lives. And at the end, what happens at the end of the issue? Well, at the end of the issue, here's what happens. Cable ends up sacrificing his life. I do this because we know he's back in Cable versus the X-Men. He ends up sacrificing his life, and look at this. Bam! Completely destroyed, just dead. And little do we know that not only that, but this is like the first time we see Hope actually live up to her potential, actually show what she can do. Because before this, no one knew what her powers were, no one knew what she was going to do. And this is where she finally lives up to her powers. She finally lived to her potential. I mean, look at this. You find out that she can mimic powers. Additionally, I mean, look at this. Look at that. Oh my God. She lived up to her powers, and she just absolutely destroyed Bastion, Bastion was the Sentinel that was in charge of this operation to eliminate the mutant race. But yeah, look at that. And this is the culmination of her powers right there. And if you notice something, you'll see the Phoenix Force. And this brought back the Phoenix Force to the Marvel Universe right here. So this kind of was the first time you kind of saw the Phoenix Force come back. And we know Avengers Resurrection was all about this. This is kind of like the hints that the Phoenix Force were coming in. I mean, look at that. And then at the end, everyone is just stunned. Emma Frost is stunned. Everyone is stunned. And that's how... And that's X-Men Second Coming. Just... I know I did not do this justice, folks. I mean, I have the entire issue. Maybe I might do that in a few videos covering the entire event, but it is phenomenal, folks. I mean, let's go by why it's epic. The battles. I mean, just look at this cover. The battle. One taking place in the future. Magneto on his last legs, just holding off the Nimrod from attacking the hospital in Utopia. I mean, just look at this. Look at the battle. Look at all this. I mean, oh my God, just the battles that are happening. I mean, the future and the past, everything. It's worth it for the battles. And it's a nonstop. It happens at the beginning of the story as well. So the battles, too, the storytelling. I mean, oh my God. I mean, normally when you have this many writers, it's really horrible, and you get a lot of things that are scattered. But this is not the case. I felt like they really had a game plan with the Second Coming, and they hammered it out and delivered such a good issue. So the storytelling is fantastic. It makes you feel, when you read this, you feel empathy for the character. You feel like you're a part of it. You get invested into the characters. You want to see them all live, and you don't know if they're going to pull through or not. And three, the premise. I mean, just the premise that, like I said, the premise that the mutants, they're fighting for their survival. There's only 100, maybe 200 left in the world of mutants. They're trapped in a dome, in an impenetrable dome over Utopia. Nimrods are coming from the future to kill off the rest of the mutants. I mean, that alone is just, oh my God, and they're fighting for their survival. Three, it's the culmination of everything that was building up, Messiah War, Messiah Complex. You finally got this, and it's the culmination that Hope, this is like the first time you see Hope Summers actually do something, actually use her mutant powers. So that's four. Five, you kind of get the reintroduction of the Phoenix Force, that it kind of gets reintroduced here, reintroduced to the Marvel View. You get clues and everything that's going to happen. And six, you get, at the end of this, you get the five lights, like from the five new mutants end up turning up on Cerebro. And it leads up, and not only, but it leads up into everything. The Phoenix Force, this whole thing with Hope Summers, transfers into Generation Hope, which leads into Schism, which leads into AVX. It's a great place that if you were out of comics like I was, it's great to read. I mean, just, sorry, I just love this issue. I just love these so much. I mean, look at that. Hope Summers. And just look at this page. I mean, and then like everyone acts in character. I mean, the brilliant plan of Cyclops to send X-Force to the future to shut down the Nimrods from being made in the future to coming to the past. To shut it down from the future so they're not attacking the past. It's just amazing a plan. And just the emotion and everything, it just works so well. A perfect balance of drama. Additionally, this is like the first time at the last issue, the epilogue, this is like the first time you kind of start seeing Cyclops maybe turning into a villain. You kind of start see the wheels starting to turn into his head. But yeah, X-Men Second Coming, if you can get no issues, get issue 12 especially, issue 13, pick it up and trade. Absolutely phenomenal issue. Like I said, the story is separating into three acts. Hope and Cable trying to get to Utopia. When they get there, what's going to happen, the planning and everything. And the third, fighting for their survival against the Nimrod. Pick this up. Oh, oh my God. I'm a little tired. I'm going to drink. Oh God. The little. Oh my God. Whew. Never this tired. Good God, I don't know what the hell happened, but